2021 was crazy for Bitcoin, but we think 2022 could have even more impact. Don't get disheartened by the charts this week. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 5 most important predictions for Bitcoin in 2022, from spot Bitcoin ETFs to more countries and more legal tender. If this sounds interesting, keep watching. I'm going to round this video off with a 2022 chart analysis, so let's go. Welcome back to BeInCrypto. My name is Jessica, and guys, if you have not already, subscribe. We bring you these videos regularly. Now let's start with you guys and what you think. We asked all of you on Twitter your predictions for 2022, and over 50% of you said Bitcoin will hit 100K this year. That sounds good. Well, here is also what we think. Number 1 on our list, will 2022 be the year of mass adoption for Bitcoin? Well, naysayers still claim Bitcoin continues to have no utility and hasn't become a currency that people can really exchange goods and services with. Those on the other side of the argument claim the exact opposite. They say Bitcoin is already a store of value, displacing gold and the dollar, and the next logical step for Bitcoin is to become adopted as an everyday currency. Now, oddly enough, both sides actually seem to be right. While Bitcoin hasn't replaced everyday payments, it is something that many people have, both directly and indirectly, in their investment portfolios. A study by Grayscale actually showed 25% of households in the US own Bitcoin, and another study by Pew Research showed that 86% of Americans have heard information about cryptocurrencies last year. So it's really not surprising that cryptos are most popular among men aged 18 to 29 in this group, but numbers outside this group also are still rising. If you're a woman watching this video, give it a like for the females in crypto. And payment companies like PayPal and Square, which recently renamed itself to Block, reflecting on its focus on blockchain tech, are actually paving the way for mass adoption. The former has hundreds of millions of users, and unlike banks, they do accept crypto as a means of payment. Large corporations also, and retailers, they're not oblivious to all of this, and there have been moves to become more crypto agile, as they don't want to miss out on what could be the next generational shift in just how money is used, but not only that, also what money is. Now, I do want to clarify that these moves that I'm talking about at this time, they don't really guarantee anything. It seems a very large portion of business and money managers are waiting for regulation to be put into place, mainly across the Western world, before they make a move towards accepting Bitcoin. Well, we'll get into that just a little bit later in this video. It won't be smooth sailing, and of course, Facebook tried and failed to launch their own currency. Google and Apple are still firmly dealing with dollars at the moment, but Amazon is also likely to launch its own project in 2022. But it remains to be seen what form it will take, who its partners will be, and also what the chances for adoption are. But definitely watch this space. Bitcoin adoption is happening in another direct way. A growing number of people are also receiving their paychecks in crypto. Inflation spooked many in 2021, from college debt burdening young people to first-time home buyers and even retirees. Vanishing savings and purchasing powers are not as fun as they used to be. At the same time, 86% of people have caught wind of this asset class and how it doubled and even tripled in some cases this year. Prominent figures like the mayor of Miami and New York have also stated they'll take their paycheck in Bitcoin and will offer the same option to public servants in their office. That's not all. Sports stars like Aaron Rodgers and Odell Beckham Jr., they also stated they'll be taking their partial payments in crypto. So with some more clarity about how taxes and even removing the middleman between workers and employees, Bitcoin salary payments are expected to surge in 2022. Number 2 on our list, Bitcoin as legal tender in more countries. 2021 saw the first country formally starting to accept Bitcoin. In El Salvador, people have already started to use Bitcoin for payments as a way to store their wealth. This movement was really spurred on by Jack Mallers, who created the Bitcoin payment app Strike and Zap. Well, since then, things have grown pretty drastically. It was also with his help the country adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, and this transaction does away with capital tax gains, and people are now really free to convert and transfer Bitcoin as they will without having to worry about taxation. Now, officially, when we look at El Salvador, they made Bitcoin legal tender way back in September the 7th, 2021. And this was the first country to do so. It was a huge milestone for crypto. This led to politicians all across South America to call for similar action. And it's also the same reason, to minimize their nation's reliance on the US dollar, to boost financial inclusion, and to slow down inflation and attract more entrepreneurs. Besides El Salvador, another Latin American leader to really voice their interest in Bitcoin was the Paraguayan Congressman Carlitos Relea. And the politician took to Twitter to encourage his nation to keep up with the new generation. To emphasize this, he even added a new photo of himself with laser eyes. Now, more importantly though, Relea actually vowed to present a bill that would see Bitcoin adopted as legal tender in Paraguay this month. So he also called on his country to utilize hydroelectric potential to mine Bitcoin, similar to what we saw with El Salvador and the volcanoes. And that's not all. Panama was also quick to push for Bitcoin adoption and did so on the exact same day as El Salvador made the big move. The country has even taken things just that little bit further by adding other cryptocurrencies in the process, such as Ethereum. Now, Congressman Gabriel Silva also took to Twitter to reveal that the country has actually drafted its very first cryptocurrency law. And just as El Salvador, Panama will look to promote the use of cryptocurrencies as payment methods. So this is huge news and really exciting for the space. And what's really exciting about this, introducing the use of blockchain tech in the financial and public sectors is a priority. The bill really details how Panama will be compatible with the digital economy, how it emphasizes the role of Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. On top of that, it also draws attention to the cryptocurrency's divisible character, saying that among so many other things, it actually can be subdivided into 100 million Satoshis. And other cryptocurrencies such as Cardano and Ethereum can also be divided into more assets. But unlike El Salvador, Panama has not mandated that businesses accepted any of these cryptos. Now, it is really important to note that the degree of Bitcoin adoption actually did see criticism, as neither consumers or retailers, they didn't feel comfortable being forced to suddenly use Bitcoin as cryptocurrency. So it'll be really interesting to see the progress in 2022 and also what more countries get on board. At number 3 for our Bitcoin predictions, we have Bitcoin losing dominance. The flippening, the what now? Well, many are making the prediction that 2022 will finally see Bitcoin lose its dominance, called the flippening. This will happen when Bitcoin won't longer be the top crypto. Now, there might be a strong case argument here. At the start of 2021, it was 70% Bitcoin dominance compared to other cryptocurrencies on the market. Well, that's now dropped to 40% in the space of a year. Ethereum is in second place with 20% market dominance, according to CoinMarketCap and TradingView. But let's dig a little bit deeper and see if 2022 will be the year where Ethereum could flip Bitcoin and take the top spot. Well, actually, Ethereum is already surpassing Bitcoin in so many other metrics. Bitcoin is well and truly the leader when it comes to market cap, but Ethereum has a large number of transactions. On certain fronts, Ethereum is already outpacing Bitcoin, while Bitcoin is still far away from its leader when it comes to market cap. Ethereum hosts far more transactions. So according to data from Wirechat, the Ethereum network has 38 million transactions in October, in comparison with the Bitcoin network that managed to reach 8.5 million transactions. Now, you could argue this has been a bumpy year for all cryptos, and these numbers don't exactly have that much weight, especially with several other cryptos like Ripple and Stellar getting higher transaction figures according to Statistica. But the devil is in the details. Even with Bitcoin Lightning Upgrade, all of its transactions seem to fail when there are worries about the economy. Bitcoin seems to get more interest when things are going well and people are looking for more risk and higher profit. Ethereum, on the other hand, is more connected with DeFi and also NFTs, and these two technologies have exploded in 2021 and are set to keep flying in 2022. Still, Bitcoin still has something going for it. It is the top crypto for use case as a store of value and protection against inflation. It's already occupied its space and is the go-to solution for people looking to diversify their investments and savings with crypto. So another way of saying this is right now, Bitcoin doesn't have a competitor for this role. This isn't the case for Ethereum though. A host of ecosystem projects have appeared last year, and chief among them was Cardano and Solana, and they are vying for dominance at this space. Now, this could actually pull Ethereum back and prevent it from overtaking Bitcoin in 2022, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Number 4 on our list, we have regulation and what 2022 holds for Bitcoin regulation. Will it become legal tender, or will it essentially be regulated out of existence by lawmakers across the world? One thing we're seeing more and more is that regulation is on the way. It won't happen quickly, and it won't be a straightforward process. So smaller countries that have unstable economies and also chronic inflation will be more open to Bitcoin. And we've seen that, we mentioned that in the previous point. They'll pave the way and serve as a testing ground for full Bitcoin adoption. As we mentioned earlier, El Salvador is seeing some huge results, but there also have been some instances of people's funds going missing. Now, the main focus is actually on these economic centers of the world, for those that have the most yield and also the most financial power. Washington and European lawmakers have identified that cryptocurrency is big and an important issue here, and now they are exploring ways to regulate it without outlawing and hampering innovation, or at least they claim they should be doing that. Last month, CEOs from 6 crypto companies testified before Congress about future legislation. Congress members asked about stablecoins, taxes, and financial crypto products that look a lot like those existing in banks. China, on the other hand, chose a slightly different path, probably because its economy isn't still so open. Their regulators flex their muscles and cause waves on the crypto markets when they ban mining and also cryptocurrency trading. Now, the powerhouse country that is China is making way for its own version of a decentralized currency, the digital yuan, which is already being piloted. But the US have still no plans to ban Bitcoin, something the chairman of the Federal Reserve explicitly said back in September. Now, it's also really debatable if it's even possible to ban Bitcoin because of its decentralized nature. So what would happen if Bitcoin became legal in 2022 or in the coming years? Well, it would most likely mean its anonymity would help curtail it in some way, but access to it will be far easier. There's a lot of institutional money waiting on the sidelines, ready to invest in Bitcoin. So if a spot Bitcoin ETF becomes available next year, that will be a clear signal for even more hesitant investors that Bitcoin is safe to invest in. We'll talk about this a little more in the next chapter, but there's one more thing that I want to touch on before that. Now, something that's really important to note when it comes to crypto regulation is the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Now, the SEC, for those that don't remember, they said Ripple's XRP token is a security and should be subject to regulation. Ripple argued back it is not a security and should not be treated as such. Here's been the tricky part. If XRP wins the case, this could mean that only Bitcoin is actually safe from a regulatory standpoint as well as XRP. This could have huge implications on their prices, while altcoins like Ethereum and Cardano are faced with SEC scrutiny. Now, this Twitter fired from John Deaton, actually the attorney for the approximately 65,000 XRP holders, explains this in so much more detail. I'm going to link it down below if you do want to check it out. So to recap, regulation is on the way, and even though it will make Bitcoin less independent, it will also open so many doors for it as a store of value and make it even more attractive compared to gold and the dollar. Now we have point number 5. Our final point for today, before we take a look at the charts, spot Bitcoin ETFs. One of the most important crypto developments that the crypto community is waiting for this year is the approval of the first ever Bitcoin exchange traded fund in the US. ETFs are financial instruments that can follow one or multiple things. It can follow commodities like oil, industrial sectors like transportation, or an index like the Dow Jones. ETFs track one or more multiple prices, really aggregate them so that investors and traders can pay less fees, perform more trades in less time. Now, there's already a Bitcoin ETF that's out there, the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, but it follows Bitcoin future contracts and doesn't actually provide direct exposure to Bitcoin itself. Now, this is actually way more risky for retail investors as it's a more complicated way of trading in the popular crypto. So, instead of directly buying and selling the current price, futures contracts are executed at a later date at the price that's agreed upon by both parties. So with the market maturing, there are already players who are really vying to launch their own Bitcoin spot ETF. Chief among them is Grayscale, a name you hear on this channel quite frequently. They want to convert their so-called Bitcoin trust into a spot ETF. Well, why do they want to do that? This is really important because it provides direct access to Bitcoin. Individual investors, small brokers managing savings, all have the ability to buy and sell Bitcoin at the current price for a smaller fee than the financial product that they have. Another reason to keep an eye on this is when it gets approved is when the ProShares Bitcoin ETF was launched, Bitcoin reached its all-time high. So if one's launched in 2022, as many feel as possible, we could see a serious spike on the Bitcoin charts. Now, our bonus for you now in this video is a technical chart analysis that could give some indication about where the price of Bitcoin is headed in 2022, as well as some of the levels to watch before the predictions that we talk about could come true. In green, you can see the most important resistance levels on the current price, while in the red you have the support levels. Green and red circles indicate points in time in which these levels are tested and confirmed as important by the market. Support and resistance can really act as the names indicate, but another way of thinking about looking at the charts is targets can be really useful for building trading strategies and consulting when big developments happen that change the direction of the price. I'm going to start with the resistance levels first. The all-time high at $69,000 was an obvious goal, should 50K be overtaken. But for that to happen, we need an uptrend. So right now the price is in a short-term downtrend, dipping to 42.7K on Thursday the 6th. Now this was really indicated by the price being below the red arrow, which has been dominating the direction since July 2021. But we'd like to put emphasis on the short term, and the long-term trend is still up. Bitcoin was up around 70% last year, and for that trend to be broken, it would have to fall below and remain under 40 and 30K. 2022, if it sees positive developments from regulation, adoption, and ETF all becoming available, we could see that high target of $85,000 being reached. BeInCrypto actually targeted and calculated this level based on previous moves when it comes to catalytic events, the halvening, regulatory changes across the world, and so much more. We're pretty sure 2022 will have a lot of those. So what do you guys think will happen with Bitcoin in 2022? Will it be the top crypto? Will it be more regulated? And what about price? Is 85K possible, or even $100,000? Let me know in the comments, and as always, don't forget to subscribe. And if you are looking to get involved as your New Year's resolution into crypto, you can buy and sell more coins on StormGain, BeInCrypto's partner crypto exchange. The link is down in the description box below, and you might get a cashback on your very first deposit. That's all from me. Make sure to give the video a big thumbs up, and see you all again next time.